Good morning, peoples. Whoops, took away 36. All right, so here we are with Group B, Yieldmax, the former goat Nvdy, and the current goat in the group Plty. All right, I know where your eyes are going. So I'm going to move through these quickly because I do an actual. And I actually will talk a little more about, well, am I surprised? Am I not surprised? I think they're doing it for this reason and so forth. Whereas here, I just want to get them out. I mean, first off, I base it on a couple things. So what was the change, right? So this was Nvdy. Let's start with them. So they were 1684 their price in the 16th of May. And so now going into the weekend and the 13th of June is the price, and they've dropped 3.74%. Oh, here's a couple of codes that didn't get automated for red. I do a condition formatting and forget to drag it over when I create new columns and so forth. Okay, guys, so there's really nothing in it. I used to put whether the monthly was up or down in the red, but that's not, you get it in the change field. All right, so $1.09 for Nvdy. It's still a fabulous 84.14. They didn't make the kind of money they made last week, to be honest. They surprised me. I think I had them around 128 and they shot up to 162. So I'm bringing them back to reality here, below a buck 10. Could they pay a buck 20? Yeah, I don't see them paying $1.60 again. I mean, where's the stock? The stock's a $16 stock. This is, Nvidia for a long time was 24, 27. It rarely went below that 25 midpoint. But like all, people go into these funds, and I honestly think it's going to happen to Misty. I'm a little sad about it. I love Misty. I love the underlying MSTR, the Bitcoin story, Michael Saylor, a lot of that. But I think just take Misty with all these other funds. First off, that's a lot of option traffic. Yeah, can the brokers and people in Conflex handle it? Yeah, I think they can handle that. But look at the share count. When you start getting 4.7, I think last time I looked, 4.8 out of 13 billion and 4.8 billion is in Misty. I mean, all the money is going there. And the more that people come in, the more they're viewing it as a wealth vehicle. They're projecting out 10 years, 15 years. I mean, I hate to even do the videos except for you get a lot of viewership. People are very interested in it. But we don't know what's around the corner, and I talked about it in my last video with the current war cycle that's going on, guys. This is the kind of stuff of why I see precious metals and commodities and the super cycle we're in. Whether this turns out to calm down at some point, which I don't really think it will, but there's just another hot spot around the corner. It's the state of the world right now, if you will. Okay, so let me continue. 45 I have for Facebook. Okay, it improved a little bit. It's been paying 44, 47, 55, 52. Maybe it'll surprise me, Meta. So I have them, they're still yielding more than their current IV, but maybe I'm wrong on that. You know what? I'm going to take them to 47 just as I look at it. All right, JPMO, JP Morgan, I got it at 33 cents, yielding 25 on an IV of 21. They're down a couple dollars. Yeah, they've paid 29, 30, 37, and then a 50 and a 60. I'm going to go with 33. Um, Also, guys, I didn't mention it so much in Pulte and Coney when I did that update, but we only have 4 trading days next week for the options to reach their level, right? You got the Juneteenth holiday. At least I believe it's a stock market holiday. Yeah, it's a stock market holiday. Um, so Murney, 13 cents, 71%. Yeah, but look at this. So everybody that wonders if, Ulti, when I did my Ulti video, which I got a lot of comments and a lot of viewers appreciate that. I know it's popular and it surprised me. It's doing better than I thought it was when I really did a forensic deep dive on it. Sorry, guys, on that. Well, I've got this on top of here. It's when I put my cursor over here on my estimate that drives people nuts. So I've learned. All right. So it's up, or sorry, that I'm jumping to GDX, so I wanted to finish up on Murney. But I was saying the 247, Ulti is not going anywhere near term on any kind of reverse split. You're seeing it in Murney. They're really avoiding doing those. They'll do them if they have to, if the exchange, it used to be at below $5, the exchange would get on them, but maybe since they're an income fund, they don't. I don't know what that caveat is. All right. Let's jump over. So 13 cents, 73 yield. Now on this one, I got mixed. GDX, I track it. I don't report on it. It made some money, and I'm very bullish over the next 1 to 4 years in GDXY. I mean, I'm bullish on the underlying of GDX, right? So that's the first caveat for making income. There's not enough of a high IV yet around that. There will be as these stocks, these senior miners start raising their dividend and their stocks just keep on going up, then you're going to see higher volatility and thus a higher IV. So this thing will start cranking out more money, and then people will go, well, wait a minute, GDXY is above 20. Didn't that launch at 20? So now all of a sudden it's how much income, when can house money come back into play? Well, it has to get a higher IV and start producing. But I think this is a fun to not skip, guys. Just because of how bullish I am on the super cycle. For me, it's not really enough income here. I'd rather just go buy the 2x GDX or 3x GDX or the JNUG, which is 2x on the junior miners. Right now, the senior miners are doing well, did well, but more of the money is flowing into the medium and junior size companies. All right, dips. So I got 51 cents, like a 45-cent yield. They might surprise. They're not going to do 70. They're not going to do, I think they're going to beat 37. So it could be 47 to 57 if you ask me. So I'm kind of right in that middle space. Dips. I got 39. That's a guess on dips, really. I mean, they're all guesses, but you have more logic. Babo did not earn as much money, and I kind of like the very low PE on the Chinese companies. JD.com, Babo is sort of the Amazon, Baba, right? Baba, I should say. So uh, those should do very well. I know China's kind of hurting on its economy, but I think as it recovers, that these things are they're like 1/3 the PE ratio of comparable U.S. companies in the sector. So I do like it long term as a bull trend. And people say sometimes, what are you bullish on? Well, there's an example. I'm bullish on Plty. I talk about that and talked about it for a long time. So I got Babo with 47 cents, a 35 yield. They just didn't do that well in income on their synthetics. And what were they on the up and down side? Yeah, look at this. 1740 to 1549, a 10% drop. That's why, guys. I'm watching everything when I go to put my number together, but I don't always recall everything. All right, Pulte. You guys saw, if you watched my video recapping it, they have not closed out their synthetic. It runs all the way to July 18th. They got $10 worth of income in that synthetic and a profit. They're losing about 56 cents in their month to date spreads. So they could, with carryover money from other months, which they have, pay this level, but would they go down and pay 250 or something, which would still be a good payment for them? Because if they somehow on Monday close out that synthetic, that'll be an indication that they want to pay 5 or more. So look for that. Otherwise, I got them at 482 with a realistic 460 to 530 payment. In other words, if I had to bet my life on what they're going to pay, not that I would, right? I would say, 450 to 540. I would even stretch that, right? That'd be my realm. Okay, Maro, $1.56. See, and Palantir is down some from last time, but their synthetic is a monster. I mean, they're still way up. All right. So I talked about Maro, Ymax. Let's go into the weeklies. Guys, these are really, I don't put a lot of effort into it. Hopefully you like my Ymax analysis, though. I was a little surprised that they didn't own all the funds like they say they are going to do. And I like the fact that their highest weighted percentage of a fund was GDXY. Maybe I got to give them more credit for being smart than I have. Okay, YMAX 16 and a half, Y Mag 18 and a half. Leffigy always has a pretty decent payment, but look here, paid $1.74. The rest are 40, 50, 60, 70. Well, I got them back in the 40s. I got 46.5. They could pay 50 cents. Gapooty, I got 31 on Mr. Gapooty. And these just keep flowing. S. Diddy, 22. I think these were 22, 24, 26 last week, something like that. May actual 27. Sorry, because these pay weekly, guys. This is not the last week, right? So on the weeklies, I don't put as much effort. So I report on them every week because I'm doing, Group A, then Group B, then Group C, then Group D. So I got 22, Q Diddy 26, R Diddy 26. Ulti is usually 8.5 to 9.5. I probably should have just put 0.9, but I went 0.089, figuring one of these times they're going to pay in the eights. And I'm thinking it might just be now. All right. And on Mr. Chippy, the semis, the chip semiconductors, I got 36 cents. Now, interesting. Look at May actuals. April actuals were 12.11. May actuals were 15.69. But look at the bolster here. You got $2.50 right there. And with the markets touch and go here with increased geopolitical unrest, to say the least. How about war? All right, guys. I got 1208. So that's it. All right. Peace. Not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. Have a good rest of your Sunday, guys. Bye for now.